Looky here. What up, buddy? Look at this guy.
Good morning.
Coming in here in his half golf but half athletic Under Armour shirt. Like, I don't even know what this is here. You in the mood to run, or are you golfing, or are you just chilling?
Just chilling, man. It's just chilling. Yeah, absolutely.
How you been, bud?
I've been golfing, that's for sure. I've been good. How about you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Working?
You're doing a little bit of everything, right?
Listen, I do everything because I don't really do anything well. So I'm like the human pawn shop is what I call myself. I don't really have anything great, but I got a lot of stuff.
Well, that's a good way to be.
But it's about you. You got a new song, Neon Church. Been playing that this morning. Let me play a little clip of this for everybody in case they're just turning it on. Tim McGraw's here. Here's Neon Church.
Yeah, what I need is a neon church with a jukebox choir full of honky-tonk angels with the wings on fire. Straight pouring out that Johnny Walker healing. I got a feeling I need a neon church.
Come on. Come on with that.
It was fun, man. It was fun making this record. The lyric right off the bat, I mean, when you hear I need Jesus or I need whiskey right off the bat, you're kind of hooked and want to know where the story goes. Just such a well-written song all the way through. There's not a word that's misplaced in this song. It was so good. And then we wanted to build just a big epic sounding record around it. You know, it's funny. You want to lean forward and you want to push the envelope and come up with sounds that are cool and progressive and, you know, push yourself vocally. But at the same time, you wanted to have a familiarity to it and something that's really cool and a little bit of retro. And when we were laying the tracks down, we listened to some Prince, listened to some Journey a little bit of Eagles to try to get some of these ideas of tones. And, man, Michael Landau, who played the lead guitars on this, I mentioned Purple Rain in passing, and he just sort of threw down on Prince guitars, and those things just lighted up.
Yeah, you can kind of hear a bit of that.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because that texture, that tone,
Yeah.
well, it's in that.
It's in there. It bites, man. It bites good, and it's, you know, and the song is one of those things that when you're playing. I come up playing clubs, and when you play these clubs and these honky tonks, you see so much of life pass in front of you. You know, you see so many different vignettes and so many different things going on in people's world, right? Especially if you're an artist, you're sitting up there and you observe all this kind of things because that's what enhances your art and what drives your art. You see people going through some of the worst times in their life, some of the best times in their life, some people who are lost, some people who are trying to get lost. You see all that stuff. And I think this song has some angst in it and the tension in it. And I wanted the track to have the same tension that the vocal and the lyric had.
You know, I listened to that song, Tim, and you sing so high and so well. And I think that as a singer, because you're known as Tim McGraw, the performer, the legend, all the hits, I think you're very underrated vocally.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think it's something that I always work at and try to be better at. And I think that's a part of what drives me as an artist is I sort of probably underappreciate singing as well for myself. I'm always trying to be better, push myself to be better, and push myself to tell a better story. And a lot of that, I think, every time that Faith and I have done a soul-to-soul tour together, we've worked together for any length of time, I've come out of that being a better singer and a better artist because she's one of the greatest singers in the world. And to be on stage with her every night, we spent 2 years doing soul-to-soul this time, and this is the first record I've done. And I did this right in the middle of the last year of soul-to-soul. When you're out there with her every night and you're trying to keep up with her vocally, it pushes you to another level and it pushes you to do some things that you didn't think you could do, and you have to do them when you're on the spot and you're live and you're in front of people and she's standing right there looking at you, and you know you got to hit this high harmony part, and it forces you to be able to do it. And so I came out of that, I think, being a much better singer than I was going into it. With
Faith being such a great singer, and you bring that up, it kind of pivots me to, does she ever try to give you voice lessons?
She gives me a voice lesson every time she sings. I don't know that she's given me voice lessons. She certainly, I ask for her opinion on songs, you know, what songs sound like, and she might tell me sometimes that you're not, you know, you don't sound natural there, or it doesn't sound quite like you're believable there, and tell me things like that. But she gets what I try to do, which is to really deliver an honest lyric. And sometimes that's harder to do than to sing well.
Whenever you're about to go on, because if I go on, I'm going to do stand-up, or, you know, I do my and do my vocal things, whatever it is, to warm up. Do you have any type things that you do right before you go on?
No, I probably should. I don't do that. But what I do is we're always goofing around like in the hallway or in the dressing room and playing, and we'll play, 10 or 15 songs. Either we'll go down the list of our 70s classic country or 70s classic rock, and we'll do harmonies and just sing all the time. That's how we warm up, just singing and playing around and goofing off and trying to remember who can remember what songs.
It's okay. That's funny. So talk about remembering songs. You have so many hits. Do you remember them all, or do you have a prompter that helps out there sometimes?
I don't have a prompter, but I have Heath's in my ears every now and then. If I get a little lost, he'll give me a lyric cue and I'll find it. But I don't typically have that much problem with it, except for when there's a lot of new songs I'm learning, and then we're going back and doing a lot of old songs. For instance, after these 2 years of Soul to Soul, where we had just a few of my songs we've done, and then we did a lot of duets, then I had to go back and do a show where it was an hour and a half of all of my songs that I haven't done in 2 years. Now that's at my age, that's the time it sort of gets a little lost on you. But after a couple of times, you find them. And the good thing about having hits too is if you forget the words, all you can do is hold the microphone out. That's the old
funny.
trick. Yeah.
Everybody else.
Yeah.
What about? Do you ever have to Google Tim McGraw lyrics? Ask Tim McGraw just to look and see. You ever Google that?
No, but I have a lyric, like a stack, a big binder of all the lyrics that before a show I try to refresh myself sometimes on the ones that I haven't done in a while.
I owe Tim a dinner too, and I don't know if
you do.
I do. I don't know
what?
if you ever really want me to pay for it though. Like I would pay for it, but I never want to bother you with, "Hey Tim, I owe you a dinner." I know you're always fishing and stuff. So.
No, you just got to call me up, man.
I know.
Got to call me up once you get through your dancing gig. Come in town and we'll go to dinner.
Dancing gig. Don't watch me dance, please. By the way, don't watch any of that.
Well, sometimes you just can't avoid it.
Don't watch any of that, man. Hey, here's a question I have for you. I was watching you whenever Taylor Swift came to town, and you and Faith went out and you performed her song Tim McGraw. Is it weird for you to sing a song about yourself?
Well, it was, because that's the first time I'd ever done it. It's weird enough to even listen to a song about yourself. But she asked us. I mean, Taylor. I'm a big fan of Taylor's. I think she's fantastic, and I think the first thing I always say about Taylor, she's such a great songwriter. I mean, she's just really so good at tapping into what people want to hear and how to tell those stories. So when she asked Faith and I to do it, that was the first thought. It's like, how in the world am I going to go out and sing a song that's got my name in it? And so, of course, Taylor figured out the right spot for me to sing. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, I was in a pretty cool position. I mean, I'm standing up there with Taylor and my wife. I mean, I didn't have to do anything but just stand there and watch those guys. I mean, I got pretty lucky in that spot.
When was the first time that you heard that song? And was it? And obviously Taylor wasn't Taylor Swift yet, but that was a thing, right?
Yeah, I heard it. I think I heard like a demo of it early on when she was sort of shopping around for producers. Seems like I heard a demo of it. And then I heard the story that she had written it when she was sitting in math class. And that really made me feel good.
What I heard was...
made me feel youthful.
Yeah, right? Young?
Yeah.
I heard that it was originally called Randy Travis, but he was not into it. And so... Tim McGraw.
That has better ring to it, Randy Travis. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I do want to talk about your second song. I think you put 2 songs out, which is fantastic. I love this one too. So tell me about Thought About You.
Well, it's such a poignant song, you know. And again, that's the Warren Boys that wrote that with Lee Miller. You know, a lot of times when people put songs out, and especially if they put 2 out, like maybe it's like the 60s sort of model with a new delivery system now, I guess. But when you put an A and a B side or something like that out, a lot of times it's the first single and then a song that you probably won't be a single down the road. That it's just a song that's off the album that you kind of like, that you put out with it. What I wanted to do was put a song out the same time as the single that was a song that very easily could have been the first single, and it was in a battle with this song to be a first single. So and it was sort of an opposite sort of sound and story to the song that we were putting out as a single. So it gave you a little bit of a hint of some of the things that are coming down the pike on this album, and the stories that we were trying to tell, and the sort of the sonic landscape we were trying to lay out. This song's, it's rare to find a song that drives as hard as this one does, and it's got such an up-tempo feel to it, but it has such a poignant lyric, and it paints a great sort of, it makes me think of where I grew up and how I grew up, and it makes me think of the people that were influential in my life and the moments that were influential in my life. And then at the end of it, it leaves it open for interpretation of about any kind of a moment you want to put in there. But it's also written vaguely enough that it can apply to just about anybody in anybody's situation in anybody's life growing up. it's just one of those rare songs that has all these elements that combine into one really great piece of art. And it's probably one of my favorite songs on the album, which is why it's coming with Neon Church.
Tim, I was looking at your Instagram, and you posted a picture of some food that you had cooked. You said, it's my turn to cook, dinner is served. Did you really cook that meal? Because it looks really professional.
I did, man. I can cook. I can do things.
Come on.
Yeah, I can cook. I like to cook. I'm not as good a cook as Faith is. She's a really good cook, but I'm pretty good. I can handle just about anything. I mean, I'm not the best at following a recipe. Like, I can follow a recipe to start with the first time through, and then it changes from then on. I never cook it the same way twice. But it always turns out pretty good. I mean, I'm from Louisiana. Us Louisiana boys can cook.
Yeah, that's true. When you grow up in the South, it kind of gets passed down to you whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
I'm from Arkansas, and I say I can't cook, but my grandma taught me a lot of things that I still can do.
Absolutely. You could probably throw some peas and cornbread down.
Let me ask you this, because whenever you put out the Spanish version of Humble and Kind, I wondered how much learning you had to do to get that right. And here's a clip of it. Here's Humble and Kind in Spanish.
Nunca te olvides de amar.
Tell me about this.
Well, it wasn't easy, I could tell you that. I mean, it's because the phrasing's so different, and there was a lot of sort of the translation isn't the same. So nunca te olvides de amar is never forget to love is really the translation that we came up with. I don't speak Spanish, and my accent's probably all over the place trying to sing the song. But what I want to do is, the song was about humility and kindness, and had a worldview, and it was about sort of the video and taking in everybody who they are in the world, and taking people for what and accepting people for what they are. And I thought it's kind of hard to say that and not at least attempt to try a different language, and Spanish being one of the most spoken languages in the world. I just thought it's kind of disingenuous to not give it a shot anyway, because of what the song says and what the video meant. And we went in and did it, and it took a little work, but we were very proud of the way it came out. Like I said, I think the passion's there and the meaning's there, and the heart of what I was trying to do is there. And the enunciations and the accent may not be exactly perfect, but I think it turned out well.
But what is exactly perfect? That's where I'm at in my life. What is nothing?
Nah, well, my wife's pretty perfect. I got to say
that's
that.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a perfect answer to that question.
Boom.
Yeah, there it is. Hey, listen, Tim, I really enjoy you, man. I enjoy when you're around.
Me too, man. I like coming in here, seeing all you guys.
Tim McGraw has got 2 new songs out today. World premiered Neon Church. Also played Thought About You. Both songs are out. I like the guy. I don't know what else to say. I think I've said it all. I think Tim has said it all. And I'll let you go about your day doing your workouts and cooking your dinners and singing your songs. Man, I wish I was Tim McGraw.
No, I think you're doing pretty good, Bobby Bones. Thank you, man. It's always good to talk to you.
Good to see you, buddy. Tim McGraw, everybody.
Brother.
Thank you. Back in a minute. Hey, Tim, thank you, bud. Good to see you.
You too, man. Take care of yourself out there.
It's a Bobby Bones show.